Bill, Davy, thanks for joining me back again in the Star Sports Zoom room. Couple of decent days under our belt at Cheltenham, and let's wrap it up with a few winners on the Sunday. The Greatwood Hurdle, the centrepiece of the Sunday, a race that I've enjoyed myself over the years. I remember Khyber Kim's Day winning North Hill Harvey, and we all have those 1 or 2 days in our punting career that we'll never ever get over. And I'll never forgive Barry Geraghty, probably the best jockey around Cheltenham in years, for his ride on Tarr when he got beat by Gardner Victor in 2014. As you can see, 6 years ago, I've nearly got over it, but brilliant race. It's a really good race. I look forward to it every year. It's a decent renewal again this year. Edward Stone heads the market at 5-1. He ran with great credit in the Supreme. Main Facts on a 9-timer for the Pipe team. Time White's in there. It's a good race. Ballyandy is the one that took my eye. I thought he was a big price at about 14-1. Ran well in the Champion Hurdle, and if he could run up to that form, I'd like to think he'll go very close in this. Davy, you've got 2. You can ride 1 and you can back 2.
Well, I do like Hunter's Call. I think he's his first run for Ollie, he won the big handicap in Ascot. He seems to be a little bit fragile. He doesn't think he is fragile. He doesn't run very often, but when he runs very credible. His run in the Galway Hurdle was very good. 1:37 in off 10:9. Aidan Coleman taking up the mount. I think for me that's where my eye is drawn to the race anyway. It's strength and depth the whole way through. The favourite has his obvious chance, but I'm going to stick with Hunter's Call.
Bill, I know that 2-week circuit of the previews before Cheltenham, and there's all the sort of few talking horses in the handicaps, etc. But there's always 4 or 5 horses that fall in that lead up to the festival that don't quite get there. And they're always ones that there's been plenty of money for. I'm sure Hunter's Call was one of them that we talked about in great detail before the festival that didn't make it there. Can you see him going close in this?
Yeah, I could definitely see him. I mean, you can make a case out for plenty of these. The one horse we haven't mentioned, which seems to be the kind of plot of the race, is Prashima, the Dan and Harry Skelton horse. Used to be with Tom Skelton. Tom Dascombe.
Is he the brother that no one's declared?
yeah. Tom Dascombe, but he's probably very well handicapped.
Yeah,
he wouldn't want too much rain, because it'll put too much emphasis on stamina. But Prashima is probably the one that slipped in off a very nice mark. And this is a horse that was 11-12-1 beginning of the week and is now battling it out for favouritism. He won't be far away.
He's got a good form line with Oakley, Bill, hasn't he? Oakley would have to go close if he did.
Yeah, 100%. You can make cases out for loads of these. If the rain comes, I would be like you in the Ballyandy camp. I think he's the class horse that's had a prep for this and ran really well behind Sue Royale, who has proved that form to be solid since by winning again. So Ballyandy looks like he's at a big mark, a big price. And the other one is Sebastopol. I do like Tom Lacey's horse, Sebastopol. Wouldn't want too much rain, but I still think he's lightly raced and got a serious engine on him. So those would be the 2 for me. Ballyandy if it rains each way, Sebastopol if it stays dry.
I remember when Sebastopol was massive jolly in a bumper here a couple of years ago, and it was floods and floods of money for it all day. And I remember he got beat, which was a bit of a result on the day, but they've always thought a lot of him. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go close in this. It's an intriguing race, but I had to tie you down to one. Hunter's Call for you, Davy, and Bill.
I'd go Ballyandy. Look at the forecast. I'd go Ballyandy just because I think the rain's around.
Yeah, as I was going to say, it is forecast rain Sunday, isn't it?
We haven't touched on Edwardstone as well. Just a horse to finish 6th in the Supreme Novices last year, running off 1-4-2, 11 stone. He's just on the right side of the weights. I think he could be very interesting.
Yeah. No, it's an intriguing race. It's always fond memories. Like I said, I look forward to watching it. Right, let's quickly touch on the other main event on the day. And what a race the Schlur Chase is. You've got Rouge Reef in there, 15-8 favourite. Put the kettle on the festival winner last year, sort of 2-1. Got Davy Desoy. He would have thought he'd be third favourite in a Schlur chase this time last year, or even in March. Sco Royale, who you said impressive last time in, he's obviously a high class horse. Riders on the Storm was another well backed horse before the festival. It's a cracking race. I think you could make a case for pretty much all of them. Do you just stick with the progressive horse in Rouge Vif, Bill? Is that the move, or do you put your faith in a returning champion like Davy Desoy coming back to his best?
Well, it's a tricky one. I mean, looking at the form of the Philip Hobbs team, that's what worries me. If the Hobbs team were flying, I would be a big fan of Davy Desoy in this race. The worry is there's too many horses from that yard that continue to run below par for me. They had Sporting John run a bit below par when a warm favourite early in the week. Daffy's also on a bit of a retrieval mission, having run well below par when we last saw him in the champion chase.
Did we ever get a reason? Sorry to interrupt you there. Did we ever get a reason from Philip Hobbs thinking about it after the festival?
They never found a reason why.
It was desperately disappointing, wasn't it?
It was disappointing, but actually, he won this race last year, went on to win at Sandown, the Tingle Creek, went on to win at Ascot. So if he returned to that form, he'd be very hard to beat. But there's too many ifs for me for a horse at such a short price. Looking at the others, you mentioned Rouge Vif. He's the solid one for me. He's the one that's going to prove whether he's a graded chaser or not. But he won like a good horse at Cheltenham last time. As long as there's not too much rain, because the ground should be perfect for him. Put the Kettle On. There's been money for her, last year's Arkle winner. The more rain, the better for Put the Kettle On. She should surely run really well. But I would stick with Rouge Vif.
Yeah, I'm going round and round in circles. It's this one I'm quite looking forward to watching. I think I'd probably side with Rouge Vif. Davy?
Yeah, it's hard to get away from everything he said. I do forgive Davy Desoy. I think it was just so far below his season last year at the festival. It was very disappointing. So I'm going to give him a pass there, because he was so impressive all year. I find it hard with the filly. The steps she's made forward is like tremendous.
Amazing.
Like, I think from 109 rated or 100 early teens, she started the year, and now she's 155. She's getting all the allowances. I just don't know where she's going to stop, if she's going to stop at all. This is a huge test for her. She loves Cheltenham. She's after winning around her twice, but I just can't get away from Davy Desoy. I really can't. I think he's I don't think they'd be running him if they weren't happy with him. And for me, I'm going to go with Davy Desoy to win. I think he's a class horse. He's battle hardened, and hopefully he can put his disappointing run in the Queen Mother last year behind him.
It's a cracking case of bookmaker v punter, isn't it? Cat and mouse here with Davy Desoy. He'd have his legion of fans. He's been there, done it. It's a bit like those boxers that get doubted and come back and prove everyone wrong. He could look 5-2, Bill, could look pretty big if he jumps the last in front, couldn't he?
Yeah, the other thing with Davy Desoy, he's only 7 years old. People always think he's about 9 or 10 or 11.
That's right.
Because he hit the peak as a Triumph hurdle horse, and he's been around, but he's only 7. So if he was to return, like I said, and like Davy said, if he was to return to the form he was in this time last year, he'll win this pretty easily. But
just a quick one on the race. On the race itself, Put the Kettle On. Is she going to get an easy lead here? Is she going to be hassled for the lead?
That's the question we should be asking you, Davy.
Yeah, no, I know, but like,
I think it depends on. I think it depends on whether Riders on the Storm runs.
Yeah.
If Riders on the Storm runs, I don't think she'll get an easy lead. But if it was just, let's say, the 4 or 5 of them with Davy and Rouge Vif, etc., I think Put the Kettle On might get it easy up front.
I'll tell you what, the more we talk about it, the more I'm looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, it's a very interesting race.
Does anyone want to put anything else up on the Sunday?
Difficult without declarations.
No
Punches come
problem. Let's just 2 winners will do. Don't worry about that. Davy, while we've got you, can we touch on the Morgiana hurdle on the Sunday afternoon? Abracadabra's up against St. Roy, who was impressive in the county hurdle. Abracadabra's, it was what it was, wasn't it, last year? It just didn't quite get home and was disappointing first. Would you say it was disappointing first time up against Esdaile Tower? Or do you think he's just ran with great credit against a very good horse?
Yeah, there's a number of ways of looking at it. I was unbelievably disappointed with Esdaile Tower in Cheltenham. So he put that form well behind him. He didn't jump. He done nothing. I think the fall in Leopardstown might have left its mark on him for Cheltenham.
That's a fair point.
I was just more disappointed with him at Cheltenham than I was impressed by him the other day. If that makes sense. I think Abracadabra's is in a tough year as well. So I would be leaning towards Willie Mullins' horse, St. Roy. I think he's a freak. I think he could be anything. I think he stays. He's jumping okay, needs to be tidied up a little bit, but I would feel that's going to come with every run, and I'd say he's going to improve again from the last day. I think he's the horse they all have to beat. I think he's the one they have to get to. I think he's got bags of stamina. You can ride him any which way, as long as his jumping holds up. I don't think it's going to be tested here. And I think all these runs are going to be leading for him towards becoming a real champion hurdle contender. So for me, I'm going to stick with St. Roy. Abracadabra's I just feel he's in that tough year, that he's coming out of novice company, and whether he can get up to the next level as quick as other horses do, it just might be a tough year for him. Where St. Roy has been in he's still in the second season novice, but he's running handicaps. He's had that, hardened.
It's a bit like Davy in a way, wasn't it? The year he won his triumph, and then there's a year after he really did struggle, didn't he? He's come back from adversity before, and it's that second season after they can not normally come to the fore.
Yeah. So it's just one of them years. Like Sadler won the race last year, and we haven't seen him since that day, but it was ultra impressive. So whether he's going to declare Super Sunday, look, he doesn't seem to be as good over 2 miles as he has in the past. And Course Sublime was a horse that we held in huge regard. He's so talented at home, and he just didn't seem to put that into fruition on the track. So again, he was another Triumph Hurdle horse. Coming, so he could be after maturing as well. So he could be a danger as well. But I'm going to stick with St. Roy. I was very impressed by him all through last year.
Right, that's the Sunday, the Cheltenham November meeting wrapped up. Davy, thanks very much for your time. Good luck with the recovery, and now you can't ride. Hopefully we can collar you a bit more, and we'll see you in the Zoom room regularly over the next few weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Really am.
Keep ringing that bell for the sandwiches and the teas, yeah?
Yeah.
Take care and enjoy the racing. Thanks, chaps.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks very much.